Yoel Romero stabbed with a samurai sword in a gym parking lot. No headlines, no viral clips, just Romero quietly walking away with a shredded arm and still fighting twice that same year. What really happened that night? And how the hell is this only coming out now? And if that wasn't enough chaos, we've got Darren Till and Luke Rockhold stepping into the boxing ring, Nate Diaz plotting a wild double comeback, and Jon Jones unretiring again. But this time, it involves a fight at the White House. Let's break down one of the craziest weeks in combat sports.
Darren Till is officially stepping back into the spotlight, but not in the way fans expected. On August 30th, he's headlining Misfits Boxing 22 in Manchester, squaring off against Luke Rockhold in a Bridgerweight boxing match. Yes, you heard that right. Rockhold, the former UFC middleweight champ, is now lacing up gloves instead of throwing head kicks. And if that's not strange enough, Tony Ferguson, who's been through absolute wars in the UFC, is making his boxing debut in the co-main event against influencer-turned-knockout artist Salt Papi. Now, say what you want about YouTube boxers, but Salt Papi isn't just a gimmick. He's 6-2, riding a win streak, and has finished all his victories by stoppage. He might be smiling in every promo, but once the bell rings, he turns into a problem. So the real question is, should Tony Ferguson be doing this? Or is this the final stretch of a legendary but brutal career? But if you thought that was surprising, wait until you hear what's happening between Paulo Costa and Khamzat Chimaev.
The beef between Paulo Costa and Khamzat Chimaev has officially hit new levels, and it's not just about fight rankings anymore. Costa is accusing Chimaev of sliding into his girlfriend's DMs, turning their long-standing rivalry into a full-blown grudge match. These two were supposed to face off at UFC 294, but after Costa pulled out due to injury, Usman stepped in and lost a close decision. Since then, Costa's been stewing, and now he says it's war. During UFC 318 Media Day, Costa made it crystal clear, this isn't just business, this is personal. He's angry, he wants violence, and he says the only way to settle this is inside the cage. Whether Chimaev wins his next fight or not, Costa's gunning for him, and he's not holding back. And while Costa's fired up and ready to fight, Kevin Holland's been pulling back the curtain on a fight that never happened. And why?
Fans have been calling for it. Kevin Holland's been calling for it. So why haven't we seen Holland versus Colby Covington? According to Holland, it's simple. Covington ducked him. Speaking at UFC 318 Media Day, Holland said that when Colby thought he'd be fighting Paddy Pimblett, he was 100% healthy. But the moment Holland's name came up, suddenly there's a mysterious muscle tear. No official announcement, no public reasoning, just crickets. Holland didn't mince words. He still wants that fight, and if it doesn't happen by 2026, he's not letting up. But while some matchups stall out in silence, others are exploding back to life. Nate Diaz is back, and he's coming for everybody.
Nate Diaz might have been quiet lately, but don't mistake that for retirement. The Stockton slap legend is cooking up something, and he's got options. In a recent interview, Diaz made it clear he's ready for both MMA and boxing. In fact, if he had to fight someone right now, he's going straight for Conor McGregor again. He even name-dropped Ilia Topuria, calling him a little small but still a solid option. And on the boxing side, he's eyeing the winner of Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Crawford. It's classic Nate, unfiltered, unpredictable, and unbothered. But don't laugh off his chances. When Diaz is motivated, chaos follows. And speaking of unexpected returns, Jon Jones is back again. But this time, the venue is something no one saw coming. Just weeks ago, Jon Jones said he was done. He handed over the belt, announced his retirement, walked away from it all. But now he's back. And the reason? A potential UFC fight at the White House. Yes, you heard that correctly. According to Jones, Donald Trump is pushing for a historic fight night on the White House lawn, and Jones wants in. He called it an act of pride, not for titles, not for money, but for the spectacle, for the legacy. He even hinted at Tom Aspinall being the perfect opponent if he's still champ by then. Historic? Absolutely. But while Jones is prepping for a patriotic return, another legend might be preparing for his final chapter.
Dustin Poirier's UFC journey has been one of grit, growth, and pure heart. But during a recent ESPN segment, it all got a little too real. He was surprised with retirement letters from close friends, longtime teammates, even comedian Theo Vaughn. The tears started coming, and for the first time in years, Poirier looked vulnerable in a different way. It wasn't the pain of a fight, it was the weight of a career. 15 years, dozens of wars, one of the most respected lightweights to ever do it. And now, maybe it's time. But while Poirier fought back in Timur Khizriev fought off something much darker.
In a shocking real-world attack, undefeated 2024 PFL featherweight champ Timur Khizriev was ambushed in his hometown of Makhachkala. Two masked men opened fire while he was unloading his car. He was shot in the back at point-blank range, but somehow managed to subdue one attacker before the other fled. 5 rounds were fired. All bullets have since been removed. Khizriev is recovering and reportedly undergoing surgery.
PFL released a statement, and the MMA world is still reeling from how fast everything escalated, but even that chaos isn't the wildest story of the week, because now we're circling back to Yoel Romero, and a story that sounds like pure fiction, but really happened.
This story almost slipped through the cracks, but now it's resurfaced, and it's insane. Back in 2022, BKFC champ Alberto Blas reportedly tried to run over Yoel Romero twice. When that failed, he allegedly pulled a sword from his trunk and slashed Romero in the arm and hand. Yes, a sword, in a parking lot over a gym beef. Romero was hospitalized, treated for tendon damage, and then fought twice that same year and won both fights by stoppage. Blas was arrested and charged with attempted murder and battery, but was ultimately acquitted. Romero never testified, and the entire incident was kept quiet until now. It might be the most bizarre, underreported moment in modern MMA history. From crossover chaos to samurai sword fights, this week in combat sports didn't just break the rules, it shattered them. Darren Till's boxing comeback, Nate Diaz versus literally anyone, Jon Jones at the White House, Dustin Poirier's tears, Timur Khizriev's survival, and Yoel Romero somehow still standing after being attacked with a literal weapon. Which story shocked you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you're not subscribed, now's the time. We've got way more chaos coming your way. Thanks for watching, and whatever you do, don't bring a katana to a gym argument.